Tom Albano here for Fansided MMA, joined once again by Impa Kasanganay. Impa, last time we talked, you were fighting for your semifinal spot. You were in the semifinals, and now you're about to fight for $1 million. So I want to thank you before we get started again for your time because I know it's always a really busy time taking time out of fight camp and everything.
Oh man, no, thanks for having me again. I appreciate you. It's good to reconnect. I'm grateful we're still having these conversations. I mean, something's going right, and I just hope you're doing well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, man. Hope you're doing well as well. So, as I said, last time we were sitting here, we were talking about, you're going to fight Martin Hamlin. It was the biggest fight of your career. It was semifinal fight of PFL. Now you're one fight away from $1 million. How long did it take for that feeling to really hit in after your win over Martin in August?
I would say more so after the weekend. It's like cool. Like it wasn't so much the $1 million. It was we get like on November 24th, I solidify my spot and get my first world title. Become world champion. Right? Not even the belt's cool. The $1 million is awesome. Like it's great. I mean, it's all great. At the same time, too, it's like to become a champion in anything, I think is special, and I'm grateful that I get to be a part of it. I'm grateful that I get to go claim this victory. I'm gonna go claim this victory November 24th. On the 25th, I get to wake up as world champion, and like I'm just that's really cool for me. So I stayed a couple extra days in San Antonio at the Airbnb, and I just kind of sat there, just in the backyard, hanging out, having some good old barbecue and stuff like that. And man, I woke up and I was like, this is cool. Like, you set out a goal to become champion right there. Awesome week in San Antonio. Grateful I got the knockout. Martin's an awesome opponent, and man, I was like, we're going in the right direction. So I'd say maybe like Sunday night, I was chilling. I was like, this is cool. Let's go get it done.
For sure. So walk me through that knockout of Martin Hamlet because he's a tough competitor, as you said.
Mhm.
He fell short of the PFL light heavyweight title just a couple of years ago, and it just seemed like I don't know, you like just caught him and he just completely dropped.
Yeah, so the fight started out obviously on the feet. Man, always respected him because he has a great coaching staff. All his coaches back in Norway and Sal from Sweden, like they're a smart team, and they game plan well. You could tell they did their homework, and they were trying to put me in compromising positions. Like I really respected obviously his wrestling pedigree, but also his experience, in the PFL and all that he's done. So he gets the takedown early in the first round, has me against the cage. I'm listening to my coaches and my trainers are just telling me like be calm, be smart here. Uh, he got to my back, so to be intelligent there, then working my way back up. I like that he went for that jump flying knee, right? So I was like, okay, he's here to fight. And Coach Dieter, he got on me in the round and then, reset, settled in. And then I was like, okay, now I found my shot. Try to find, be patient, right? Not rush it, not get in a brawl, none of that. Just find my shot. And man, once we got him against, we pressed him, and he took a back step, right? Listen, Coach Jones gave me a call, and man, we executed. I knew when it was time to go. And man, I working with Coach Dieter Navarro, like I don't can even tell you how many times I've thrown some of these combinations now, right? So it was like I knew it was time to go. It's time to go. Like beat it in, made mistakes in training, executed well in training, could do better here and there. Like still making adjustments till the end of fight week, and then even before the fight, and refine. And man, it felt great to go get that victory. But yeah, once I knew it was time to go, I knew it was time to go.
So you just had mentioned before how you stayed a couple of days in San Antonio, and it was kind of letting that feeling sink in that you're going to be
Yeah.
fighting for a world title, and the hope after the day after Black Friday, you are going to be waking up a world champion. And just thinking about having those feelings sink in, what has the PFL really meant to you? Considering
Oh,
about a year or two ago, you had your UFC tenure ended and the PFL invites you to go onto the Challenger Series, and you go from Challenger Series to now you're fighting for a world title.
yeah. Great question. So yeah, like the UFC tenure ended, right? So you're kind of like in a weird place where you think like, okay, wait, well, you can argue, man, I guess should still be in the UFC at that time? Um, I'm like, okay, what's next? Looking to get a fight. Nobody's taking fights, right? So now I'm like this. It's kind of like COVID all over again, where you're waiting and waiting. Okay, somebody gonna take it. Somebody says yes, they drop a fight. So I'm sitting there just wondering, like, what do I need to do? But then, man, like to get the call to be in the Challenger Series, it was after like a rough period. I wasn't feeling too good. I had staph infection, all these different things. The hospital came out. So I'm like, okay, what do I like? I didn't want to fight, right? And I was still healing, still packing in a wound at home. Like I still had an inch and a half deep surgery incision. So I was just like, come on, like ready. But I knew it would heal in time. Man, it just the feeling is like, when you have faith that you're going to become a champion. I just told coach, I mean, before even time PFL, so there's nothing that's going to stop me from becoming a world champion this year. We were talking in the boxing gym. Man, PFL calls. It's like okay, and it's a challenger series, and then it's cool because I've been in that moment before, fighting on contender series twice, right? And where they say, oh, all the chips are on the line, you got to do this. Like, and I feel like it just prepared me for that moment where it's go take it, go do what you love. So now when I get the call for the Challenger Series, I'm sitting in my shower, right? Just praying like, God, I need something. Give me a sign. And then in the middle of my prayer, later at the time, he gives me he texts me and he's like, hey, congratulations, you're fighting in PFL. You said you'll fight any weight class? Here you go. Here's 205. So I start thinking, I'm like, okay, let's go challenge the champion. And I got to go corner my teammate, Elvin Espinoza, one of my best friends. Delano Taylor was in the Challenger Series last year. He fought in the title fight at welterweight. So you start seeing things and thinking things. So I'm like, okay, I've been in these moments before. I've seen like what it takes to be successful here, what it takes to what's happened when people don't achieve everything they went out and set out to do. So they end up like a great set of coaches around me. So man, when I fought in the Challenger Series, it was just like, all right, you know what you're here to do. Enjoy the moments. Like went to the Orlando Magic game, hosted by the PFL, but still never lost sight of the goal. And as you have different challenges personally, professionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever the case may be, still keeping your eyes on the prize. And it feels great to be in the position I am now. It's inspiring, it's motivating, and it's a challenge that I accept. When I go claim this victory on the 24th, and then like yeah, waking up on uh the day after Black Friday, be like, hey, like we're world champion, and then it's cool when you expect yourself to be somewhere and you work your way to get there. But it also makes me very grateful and feel gratitude because I can think about all like the people involved, my coaches, my training partners. Sometimes I'll just like catch myself in training right now, looking at guys like, man, like thank you, like we're about to go get this done, but I wouldn't be here without certain people. Like I went to church today with my best friend, Aaron Jeffrey. He flew down from Canada to help me out get ready for this fight. One of my best friends, he didn't have to. He just beat up Dalton Rasta. Delano Taylor working with me this morning. Jason Jackson's about to fight for his world title in Bellator. We work together. Coach Dieter, Coach Lance, and I talked for a long time yesterday. Coach Jones has been like welcomed me to the gym, and you start seeing all the guys like and people and my family and all these conversations. You start thinking that, and you say, okay, like man, like I look forward to talking to you after again, like, right before fighting Santos, and then I talk to you after before we go fight for the world title, we'll get that, and then I'll talk to you after when I have the world title, and it's just I'm grateful because you're just like wow, like not only are we speaking into existence, yeah, there's that. It's also you putting the work in, and you're like, okay, like something's going right here, and we're gonna keep it going, and I'm very very grateful. So it's just like, man, I'm filled with gratitude. I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm at peace, and I'm just dialed in to go do what I'm called to do, and that's what it feels like.
Awesome. Can't wait to have that conversation with you afterwards as well. Uh, love the response. And actually, you mentioned as part of your response that when you got the message for the PFL, it was going to have to be at another weight class. So you fought at welterweight, you fought at middleweight, and I think
Yep.
we talked about this in July, but it feels like you may have truly found a home at light heavyweight, considering your success at the PFL. Do you think you're going to be staying at 205? Like, is this a thing now, or are you going to be open, obviously, depending how the future goes, to maybe going back down 185, 170 every now and again?
So yeah, man, I'll fight any weight class. I mean, probably 170, unless I really could dial it in. Like it's not the fighting at welterweight that gives me any challenges. It's the weight cut to get there and
Yeah.
the what it takes from my body. But 85 and heavyweight for sure. Like you said, yeah, I found like a home at 205, and I'm grateful right where I'm at right now. But Man, it'd be great to go get a heavyweight title in PFL, and it's like Aaron Jeffrey's one of my best friends. They're talking about PFL Bellator. If that becomes a thing, and he goes into um 85, like I think we'd always be honored if we fought each other. We're bros, no matter whether we fought or not. But man, it'd be kind of cool, like be like the Bash Brothers or something, right? And let him go get that 85 title. I'll go get that 205 and heavyweight, and if they call us to fight, we talk about it. But it would just depend. But yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to going to 85. I'm not opposed to going heavyweight, and definitely enjoying my time at light heavyweight. That's mean it's healthy for my body. I get to stay active. I love the tournament style. And yeah, so it's just like, whoever, whenever, wherever. And we're showing it. So I'm grateful.
Awesome. So now standing in your way between you and the PFL World Title, $1 million, you got Josh Silvier. He's a beast of an athlete. What's going to be your game plan heading into this fight? What have you been doing in training camp?
Man, it's an out workout, hustle out fight, right? Like it's every fight the same, go impose my will. Be disciplined. Make this the most disciplined fight that I've had to date, right? Everything from my boxing, grappling, kickboxing, and like every aspect of MMA, right? I've been just working with my coaches and talking to them. And I have a great coaching staff. So does he, right? It's an awesome coaching staff. Like, listen to Coach Jones, like focus on my fundamentals. I think anytime you see somebody really become great at anything that they do, they dial in and hone in on their fundamentals. Look at the Tom Brady's of the world. Look at his mechanics, right? And the thing is too, I guess like when you see somebody who's great at what they do, you might not even understand how they do it, right? But you can just tell something looks right. Like when Tiger Woods swings a club or a great orator speaks, you're just like, man, like when they speak, they captivate that audience. And for me, it's just like I'm gonna go do what I love, right? Like I love to fight, I love to dominate, go hunt, go take a punch, go kill your opponent, like go kill my opponent. All of that I'm grateful for, and the money will come, the title will come, the press will come, all that stuff. It's just like, man, I get to go do what I love, and that's what I've been doing, man. Like focus on enjoying my days. Like whether it's a challenging day in training, being grateful for that, whether it's the best day ever in training and it's still challenging, I'm grateful for that. Really focus on my fundamentals. Keep doing what we've been doing all season. Impose my will, and really, really be crisp, clean, and go take him out. So I mean, yeah, like he's solid athlete, awesome experience, has those tools that he's been successful with. His his experience as a trainer, as a fighter, MMA, a martial artist, all that, but also his experience as a with the PFL, and he has great mentorship around him. From his father as a coach right at ATT, and then all the guys around him. Mike Brown, his boxing coach, all those different guys. I think it's cool. So the Gracie family lineage, like I mean, I really respect it, and I believe the same before when I fought Martin. These are the fights that you want because when I claim victory, it has validity to it, and these are ones that allowed me to become a world champion, and I'm grateful. So yeah, dialed in, respecting what he does, and man, like looking forward to imposing my will and doing what I do. So, and I think it's like it's cool because you'll there's an opportunity to see things you've never seen from me before, right? And um, all that work, all those bricks we've been laying, man, like sometimes it's cool to show what the product is now. And maybe might not even need to use those tools, but no matter what, gonna just be the most disciplined fighter, most disciplined, warrior that I can be. Walk the dog, go take care of the victory, and give God the glory.
Do you see anything in his game plan? Do you see anything in the, fights you may see of him that you say, okay, I know I can take advantage of this because I have better this, or I have this that I can counter his grappling with, for instance?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I see my speed being an advantage, right? And I think he's not slow, like like a snail, not to insult him or anything like that. It's just like my speed on how I process things more so than just being the athlete, like being the better athlete. Not talk about like sprint speed or combination speed or anything like that. It's how I process things. I really see me putting it together in a better way anywhere we go, and and that's what I'll do. But I respect I respect his craft.
Now, not trying to look past the championship fight, but do you know if PFL is going to have you back for the 24 season, right back into the light heavyweight season?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it to go back to the light heavyweight season. If there's an opportunity and they open up an 85 season, let's go do it. If they say, hey, we want your 205 or at heavyweight season, let's go get that too, right? Like that's gonna be special. Be great to fight a guy like Francis Ngannou and gonna go take him out. Like that'd be an honor, like as far as somebody who's just done, great work and then left an impact on and forever imprint on MMA. But for me, it's like, yeah, like go claim this victory, and like I've been saying all season, burn the ships. So, um, go claim this victory November 24th, and then get ready, dialed in to start up next spring. Whatever the case may be. It's you know, 85, 205 heavyweight or 205 again. I'm pretty sure once like get this title, you go right back to the same division. There
Mhm.
was there's something I'd like to fight two divisions at the same time. That'd be awesome. If they could fight on different weeks, I would
That'd be
love that. And then in the final, do two fights in one night, be like the first title fight of the night, and then the main event, right? Like do that. Uh, let's see if PFL allows that. I'll make my pitch for it for sure.
that'd be
Um,
something.
yeah, no, for sure. Like I love to fight. I love to do what I do, and like when you're on that war path, you just stay dialed in for it. So I love that.
Awesome. Now, speaking of future, talking about potentially, some future opponents. I think I may have asked you about that in July. Obviously, you
Mhm.
mentioned some of your friend Jason Jackson, Andrew Jeffries with Bellator. There's all these rumors about Bellator, about potentially maybe it reaches its end after 2023. Maybe potential fighters coming over to PFL. Is there anybody you might have your eye on from that promotion that you'd like to see across the cage from you in the PFL?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to fight. Is it Nemkov? Is light
Nemkov,
heavyweight?
Vadim Nemkov, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, let Nemkov. He's a good fighter. That's the guy that will, champion versus champion, make it the first fight of the season. If he comes over, I don't know how like his terms are. I don't know if he goes to one, if he goes to the UFC or whatever. Like, I don't know if they automatically have the right to have him as a fighter in the PFL, or if he's even interested.
Mhm.
Um, him, really. Somebody else that really kind of piques my interest that I'm like, oh, I want to fight that guy. But yeah, Nemkov, he's been a legit champion. He's done solid work, and like I've seen him before. We never really talked or anything. Like we didn't talk at all. But I think a guy that I'd want to go to battle against.
Awesome. Um, Now, as somebody, as we mentioned before, you were on the Challenger Series. Now you're here competing for the World Championships. You're at the PFL. You're with the PFL at a time where there's all this massive expansion. What advice or encouraging words would you give to others about joining PFL? Be it just joining right from the start, or going right from the start, joining a season, or having to go through showcase bouts, PFL Europe, the Challenger Series. What
Mm-hmm.
advice would you give?
Man, take advantage of every opportunity that you have. Right? You never know when your last day on Earth is going to be. So like, it's funny I have to kind of talk about that in church today. You have an opportunity to change your life no matter what, so long as you're excellent at something. Whether you're a barber and you're excellent at cutting hair, you could change your life. Whether you're a fighter, a journalist, a person who makes fishing boxes, right? Like you could do something that could just change your life. So for me, it's like whenever you get the opportunity in a company that's growing and expanding, take advantage of it. Whether it's PFL Europe, right? You can still go make $100,000 plus, right? You can make more of it. The sponsor, you can go see the world. You get different experiences. You might find love of your life. You never know what may be on the other side of where God calls you. Um, Man, with the company that's growing and expanding, put your foot in the door. Like say, hey, I want to be a part of this growth, and you will be more than happy the more work you put in. And like just obviously remember keep your eye on the prize. Like the main thing, go claim your victories. But with that, man, I feel like there's nothing that can stand in your way of what you really want to become. So for me, it was just like take advantage of whatever opportunities there. Don't think you're too high and mighty to fight on anything. Because I mean, I think me fighting on the Challenger Series has helped me get introduced to some people I may have never met in PFL or around the world. So like, you get another fight, you get to do what you love, and you won't fight forever, right? Like it's just like physically. I mean, you might fight for a long time, but like there are things you get to do in life, and that's the beauty of it too. Everything comes to an end. So while you have the body, while you have the mind, while you have the heart, discipline yourself, bust your butt, and be absolutely passionate about your craft. And on the days that are challenging, just be grateful for what you have and where you are and really enjoy it. And then man, when it all comes together, I'm pretty sure you'll be happy. So Um, just go forward with full joy and go get after people.
Love it. One last question for me. Obviously, we got the World Championships card coming up next month. The Europe Championships are in December. But this
Yes, sir.
Saturday, PFL's own Francis Ngannou is going to be stepping into the boxing ring with Tyson Fury. What
Yeah.
words would you have for your buddy Francis about taking on
Oh
somebody
man.
like Tyson Fury?
Man, to Francis, I have to say this, man. Like, God bless you. Like, it's so cool to see. Like, so I'm a child of immigrants from Africa, Congo. Francis being from Cameroon. I don't see borders. I'm like, if you're African, you're African. If you're human to me. But especially cool to see another African leader, fighter, warrior, right? Go do his work. I think it's super cool that he's fighting one of the best boxers in history. And also, like, people might have thought he was crazy. Even for Tyson Fury, when he said, "You like to see a guy go from where Francis came from, all the stuff he's been doing, from being deported multiple times to learning languages to rising to MMA stardom, becoming a world champion. Who says he can't do it in boxing? I get people have the odds and stuff, but forget when the odds are against you. Like, forget that. So just go do what you've always done, man. Like, go show out, go shine. God be with you. Thanks for being an advocate for those other, like, all other fighters in MMA. Thanks for being a great representation of African fighters and just that immigrant mentality of going to become great and making the do of your opportunities. And I'll be cheering you on. I'll be cheering you on, and I just pray that you have an amazing bout. And gosh, go get him, man. Go knock out Tyson Fury. Go outbox him. Do something that many say you couldn't have done before, and just keep doing great work. So very proud of you. God bless you, and it's cool to be associated with him in the PFL, and pray that one day we fight.
Awesome. November 24th, Black Friday, Impa Kasanganay taking on Josh Silveira at the PFL World Championships in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. $1 million, light heavyweight world title on the line. Impa, good luck. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. God bless.